Today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have a heat advisory that goes into effect at 11 a.m. It'll feel like 103 to 106 this afternoon. I'll walk you through the hour-by-hour heat index coming up.
Cleveland Road in Johnston County is closed as crews try to fix power lines that were snapped early this morning. Coming up, we'll tell you ways you can get around this.
And this morning, firefighters rescued a person from a burning home in Durham. Coming up, what we know about this investigation.
Good morning on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Levingood. It is Wednesday. We are pushing our way closer to the weekend, but we have to, of course, talk about the WRAL Weather Alert Day that Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking, and she's getting us a beautiful look at downtown Raleigh.
That's pretty, isn't it? We do have some cloud cover out there in a few places, but notice the sun starting to break out of those clouds in most places. Those clouds formed just after sunrise this morning because of the amount of moisture we have in the atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, when you walk outside, you can feel it. It feels a lot stickier than it did this time yesterday. So becoming partly cloudy here at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences in downtown Raleigh. It is 80 degrees and our dew point is a very oppressive 74. That's a really high dew point, much higher than it was this time yesterday. 78 Fayetteville, 79 in South Hill and in Southern Pine. So it feels like you're kind of swimming through the air as you head out the door this morning. And by 11 o'clock, it could feel like 100 degrees. It'll feel like 103 to 104 through the afternoon. And that is why we have a heat advisory and a WRAL weather alert day for it today. So just keep that in mind. Anything that you need to do outside, you want to do it as early as possible. And of course, the impacts of heat are cumulative. If you've been out working in the heat the last several days, maybe everything felt okay. But the longer you spend out in the heat, the more likely you are to succumb to some heat-related illnesses. So do be careful out there. We'll see 100 degrees this afternoon for the high. It'll be the second time we've seen 100 this week, and that's 2 degrees from our record high today. We're back to some rain chances tomorrow. We have a level 1 risk in some of our eastern counties. I'll walk you through our chances for rain tomorrow. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, a couple of minutes after 8 o'clock, we continue to follow breaking news down there in Johnston County. Cleveland Road remains shut down in both directions near Highway 42. You can see the congestion building there. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Nick, you've been there all morning long. Set the scene for us. Walk us through what happened.
Well, Ken, we've been drawing your attention to this red dump truck all morning, and this red dump truck actually tore down some of these utility lines. I'm going to get behind the camera and show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. This happened at around 1 this morning, and as I zoom in, you're going to see those utility lines scattered right by Cleveland Road. We're told that the dump truck actually had the bed of its truck up, and that's why it ended up hitting those utility lines. Now, the Johnston County Sheriff's Office has had this stretch of Cleveland Road closed off for some time, all morning rather, and we're still not sure when they are going to reopen it. But we do know there is a detour nearby on Technology Drive. So Ken, how is that detour looking for drivers this morning?
All right, Nick, back here in the W traffic center, that detour is actually looking pretty good. That's Technology Drive right there, and it's still green this morning, but you can see the congestion building on those westbound lanes of I-40 down around the Highway 42 interchange, which isn't unusual this time of the morning. But just make sure you're giving yourself some extra time. And if Cleveland Road is part of your morning commute, just know you can take Technology Drive. That'll get you to I-40. We're following a couple of other instances here on our traffic sensors this morning. This is a crash that just popped up on our sensors. It's at Poland Road and Hillsborough Street. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but just watch for some police activity just in case Hillsborough Street, Poland Road is part of your morning commute. This disabled vehicle, it caused a little bit of a slowdown on the I-440 ramp at US 40, US 1 at Capitol Boulevard, but again, not causing any problems, but that's the belt line right there, and you can see the slowdown that we usually see this time of the morning. Elsewhere, we see that the traffic is building on that northern side of the Beltline as well as the south side of the Beltline. Let's give you an idea of what that looks like actually from our camera out there on the south side of the Beltline. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the traffic in the westbound lanes moving away from us, moving rather slowly this morning. So do give yourself some extra time if this is part of your morning commute.
Thanks, Ken. The heat wave we're experiencing is not only dangerous for our bodies. On this WRAL Weather Alert Day, now it's the time to take care of your car as well. WRAL's Laura Levine is at a repair shop in Raleigh. Laura, you've spoken to several shops. They say the heat can really have an effect on our cars.
Yeah, Michelle, I checked in with 5 different repair shops here in Raleigh, including Mission Valley here behind me. They all say the same thing, that business is pretty steady, but as the temperatures continue to rise, they expect and anticipate to see more customers. As you can see, some rolling in here, Mission Valley this morning. I want to show you this. We have this temp gun, and I want to show you just how hot our car is at 8 o'clock this morning, 95 degrees. So just imagine as the day progresses, how much hotter it will be for your vehicle. That heat trapped in under your hood, well, that could really also kill your car battery. So mechanics here, they tell us that heat can affect the chemical process inside the battery, making it difficult to hold a charge and produce power. It's really important to get your vehicles inspected. AAA says doing things like checking your batteries, your tires, and even brakes could all be done right in your driveway. With the 4th of July holiday travel picking up pretty soon here, they do expect to rescue nearly 800,000 stranded drivers during the 9-day holiday period because of heat-related car issues.
Triple-digit heat, I mean, that's just that's bad enough already. And then add to the fact that we're talking about even holiday travel. If you get stuck on the road during holiday travel, you're going to have more and more vehicles on the road. It's going to take, us. It's going to take rescuers longer to get to you.
Yeah, so we do not want that at all, right? She says it's also important to have an emergency kit in your car stocked with plenty of drinking water. But to avoid this altogether, get your car checked sooner than later. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
This morning, firefighters rescued a person from a burning home. This happened on Hickory Glen Lane near NC 98. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the Durham Fire Department. And Kelsey, crews say that 3 people were inside the home when the fire started.
Yes, Chris, and this fire station here behind me in Durham is about a mile away from where that fire happened. 3 people were inside the house at the time. One of those people, firefighters had to rescue them from that burning home. Check out this video now from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see firefighters there on scene assessing the damage. Flames broke out around 1 o'clock this morning at this home on Hickory Glen Lane. 2 people were sent to the hospital, one with severe burns. There's damage in the kitchen and throughout the rest of the home, but crews were able to control the fire within about 7 minutes. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, so we'll be sure to stay on top of this and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Deputies in Sampson County are working to learn who's responsible for shooting a man. The shooting happened on Mount Elam Church Road near NC 421 around midnight. Investigators haven't given details regarding what led up to the shooting or how severe the man's injuries are, but WRAL is working to get an update for that information and if there are any suspects in this case.
Child care providers and parents plan to gather today outside the General Assembly as time is running out for funding. They'll hold a rally at 11 o'clock this morning outside of the Legislative Building. COVID-era federal funding runs out at the end of the month. A survey of nearly 1 in 3 providers says they may close without the funding. Providers say that lawmakers need to address this as they're making budget adjustments.
A crowbar came crashing into the windshield of a moving car on I-40. See the damage right here. This actually happened to a WRAL employee as she was driving toward Clayton. A close-up look at the damage shows the crowbar hit the driver's side right where Diane Hyla was sitting.
I was passing 306. I typically get off at 309 and just cruising along, and all of a sudden I saw this projectile thing coming at me, and I covered my face and said a prayer.
Ooh, God looking out for her. She was shaken up, but thankfully she was not injured. It appears another vehicle on the highway hit the crowbar and sent it into the air, eventually hitting Hyla's windshield. She says that she will be responsible for paying for the damages, but we're so happy she's okay.
So happy Diane's okay. Wow. Well, your child's ride to school could look a lot different. Wake County students would need to scan an ID to ride the school bus next year under a new proposal. The ID would have a barcode rather than a name or photo. The student would scan the card when they got on and off the bus. School officials want to eventually make this part of the Here Comes the Bus app. Coming up, Michael Phelps is speaking out about the world anti-doping policy, why he says reform for the agency has fallen short despite its harsh enforcement in the U.S.
Plus, several high-profile music tours have been canceled as people try to spend less money. Why some experts believe this could mark an end to revenge spending. Good getting a look outside right now in Fenton and Cary, looking beautiful outside. You can see the blue sky there, a little cloud coverage. It'd be nice to have a little bit more to block us from some of this heat that we're seeing today. We have Elizabeth Gardner that's tracking the heat advisory on this WRAL Weather Alert Day.
It could climb to 103 to 106 in terms of the way it feels this afternoon. 103, 104 potentially around the triangle, 105, 106 down in some of our southern counties. And it could start early. It may feel like 100 already in the triangle by 11 a.m. That's when the heat advisory begins, and it lasts all the way until 8 o'clock. So all afternoon, our temperatures will be in the triple digits, topping out at 103, 104 through the afternoon. And there is a little bit of cloud cover out there right now. We take a live look at Southern Pines. As you can see, it's a bit cloudier here. We had a thin deck of low clouds develop this morning because we have so much moisture in the atmosphere, but that big old sun is burning that off and helping that to dissipate across the region. Still some of that lingering in Southern Pines. It's not cloud cover that's going to bring us any rain, unfortunately. 80 degrees in the triangle right now with a southwest wind at 9, so it's a little on the breezy side. That southwest wind is, of course, a warm tropical flow, so it feels very sticky out there. You really have to watch the plants now that we've had such a long, hot, dry spell. Candace Blake taking good care of her hydrangea here in Durham. It looks beautiful. I noticed yesterday I was driving down Highway 64 and I noticed the grass was all starting to turn brown and dry out. So just to kind of keep an eye on your lawn and your flowers, your garden, that sort of thing. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers. We'd love to see your photos. You can upload a few of those for us. 100 in the triangle for this afternoon, 101 in Southern Pines and Fayetteville. That 100 in the triangle is 2 degrees from the record. So we're close to a record today. 99 up and down the I-95 corridor, 99 in Roxborough for this afternoon. And boy, our dew point just keeps on climbing, sitting at 74 right now. That southwest wind's really pushing in all that moisture, and it's likely to stay high all the way through Saturday and Sunday. And what that means is that we'll continue to see these high heat indices. So today, 104 to 105, possibly up to 105 again tomorrow, 103 on Friday, 105 to 106 on Saturday and Sunday. So there may be more days that we see a heat advisory, particularly Saturday and Sunday. I know the Weather Service is eyeing those 2 days. When you're walking the dog this evening, keep in mind that pavement's really hot. So walk the dog in the grass if you can. Concrete can climb up to around 120 and asphalt up to around 145 with all of this heat. So be careful with yourself and your pets. Tomorrow we have a cold front that'll roll through. It's going to bring us a chance of some showers and storms, and some of our counties are in a level 1 risk. I'll show you who coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we continue to follow that breaking news here in the WRAL Traffic Center down there in Johnston County this morning. It's been a busy morning in that area. Cleveland Road in both directions shut down. That's near Highway 42 this morning. Let's give you a live look, courtesy of the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, and show you exactly what we're talking about here. A red dump truck has had a problem this morning. Its bed was up and it pulled down some of those power lines and utility lines there along Cleveland Road. But you can see the traffic building on those I-40 westbound lanes. Technology Drive is your alternate route if you use Cleveland Road as your morning commute. So keep that in mind. Elsewhere, we're following a couple of incidents this morning here in the Wake County. This crash we're monitoring on Poland Road and Hillsborough Street. We're not seeing any major delays in the area, but just watch for some police activity this morning. This was a disabled vehicle there on the off-ramp there at I-440 and US 1, Capitol Boulevard. Not a problem. It just cleared, but you can see the belt line this morning. That's a situation that's building. The south side of the belt line on Lake Wheeler Road and also the north side of the belt line as well. Let's take you outside and show you exactly what we're talking about. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes are moving away from us, and you can see traffic has definitely picked up this hour of the morning.
Looks pretty busy out there. Thank you, Ken. The Oak Ridge fire in Colorado has spread to nearly 500 acres. That is double what it was Monday. As of yesterday, it's 0% contained. The fire is growing about an hour south of Colorado Springs, and authorities there are asking homeowners to be prepared to possibly evacuate soon.
New this morning, American journalist Evan Gershkovich is now on trial in Russia. He appeared in a courtroom this morning in a glass cage. Gershkovich is a Wall Street Journal reporter. He was jailed 15 months ago on charges of espionage. He, his employer, and the U.S. all deny the charges. His trial is being held behind closed doors.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is back home in Australia because he reached a plea deal. He recently pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges, and that happened in the Northern Mariana Islands, a U.S. territory. Now, his deal allows him to return home a free man for the first time since 2012. More than a decade ago, Assange published a batch of classified documents, and the U.S. government said it threatened national security and helped adversaries.
Olympian Michael Phelps is speaking out against the World Anti-Doping Agency. Phelps testified to a House subcommittee yesterday. Take a listen.
It is clear to me that any attempts of reform at WRAL have fallen short, and there are still deeply rooted systemic problems that prove to be detrimental to the integrity of international sports and athletes' rights to fair competition time and time again.
To really see everything that's going on.
He describes the lengths that he and others went through to prove they were competing fairly. He says those rules are not being applied equally. He pointed at Russia and China as among the nations whose athletes are allowed to avoid strict anti-doping measures. The hearing focused on an investigation over alleged doping by Chinese swimmers.
Protests over a proposed tax law in Kenya are turning violent. Police shot at thousands of protesters who stormed the country's parliament and set fire to another government building. At least 5 people died and dozens more were injured. Former President Barack Obama's half-sister Alma was among the protesters, and she says she was tear-gassed. The uprising is over a near $3 billion tax bill. Protesters say that they are furious with the country's president, who was elected on a promise to help the poor.
A local mother is concerned after getting a call from Holly Hill Children's Hospital saying her daughter escaped on Monday. Since 2021, at least 7 children have escaped from Holly Hill, where they were receiving mental health care. Sarah Jones says she was told her daughter was found within 30 minutes, but she wasn't notified until 6 hours later. Jones is one of many parents who tell us they want accountability from Holly Hill.
I was going on about my day yesterday, assuming that my child was safe and sound and that I didn't have anything to worry about. And all this was going on behind my back.
Holly Hill sent us a response denying the incident. Raleigh police say they got a call from the hospital about a missing person, but it was canceled before officers arrived.
Millions of Americans may not be getting student loan debt relief promised by President Biden. 2 federal judges temporarily blocked parts of the president's new student loan repayment plan. One judge in Missouri said the program would likely harm the state. They argue it would cut fees the Department of Education pays to a Missouri state agency. A judge in Kansas halted the part of the program that would cut the monthly payments of some borrowers. But until the cases are decided, the Biden administration cannot forgive additional student debt under the plan.
Nearly 70 ice cream products sold nationwide are being recalled over listeria concerns. These Hershey's and Friendly's ice cream cakes are the ones to look out for. The FDA says Totally Cool Incorporated is stopping production and distribution of the products after listeria was discovered during testing. No illnesses have been connected to the recall. Consumers are urged to return the affected products. For the plant numbers and impacted expiration dates, you can check the FDA's website.
Several high-profile music tour cancellations have sparked speculation about the future of concert touring. The industry saw a major boom following the COVID-19 lockdown. And as Lee Waldman explains, those days could be ending.
These cases indicate that some arena tours are not selling that well.
After a series of surprising tour cancellations, freelance journalist Zach Schoenfeld believes the post-pandemic touring bubble has burst.
People were really eager to get back to seeing live music. And as a result of that, prices for everything went up.
That rise in ticket prices could be one factor keeping audiences away. And it's not just concerts. A recent survey by KPMG found more consumers plan to spend less this summer on things like restaurants, travel, and entertainment. John Rosen, an adjunct professor of economics at the University of New Haven, says it could be the end of what economists called revenge spending.
By 2023, everybody was pretty comfortable it was over. Everybody had a lot of pent-up spending, and they spent it.
While big-name artists like Beyoncé and Taylor Swift have had successful world tours, less popular artists aren't finding the same level of demand. Schoenfeld says it's on the artists and their team now to reassess how to best take on this new era of touring.
Artists and their agents and their representatives, need to be savvy about finding the right size venue. And, sometimes it's not an arena.
That was Lee Waldman reporting.
UNC School of the Arts is ranked one of the best in the world. The school is in Winston-Salem. The Hollywood Reporter specifically looked at drama programs in the new ranking. They ranked the School of Drama at UNC-SA as the #3 program worldwide. It is the only American program in the top 8. UNC-SA got the #3 spot last year and has made it on the list for the last 12 years.
A lot of talented people here. There's a new satellite in space. We're going to give you a look at the launch and how the satellite will help meteorologists with weather predictions.
And as many prepare for holiday road trips, mechanics are warning drivers to get their cars inspected. Why some say the extreme heat could lead to more maintenance calls.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Boy, are we in for a hot day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner standing by with a heat advisory for many of us.
It's a WRAL weather alert day. It may feel like 103 to 106 across the area as we get into the afternoon. Now, the heat advisory begins at 11 a.m. We could already feel like 100 by then. And this afternoon, it'll feel like anywhere between 102 and 104 all the way into the evening. The advisory ends at about 8 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies right now in Sanford, looking beautiful, but that sun is really going to be hot today with the humidity too, feeling like 100, or it will be 100 degrees, of course, this afternoon. Some rain in the forecast for tomorrow, but today stays dry. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Take a look at Wake County this morning, the Beltline. You can see traffic building this morning on the north side of the Beltline, also the south side of the Beltline as well. You know, we tell people all the time, 540 is an alternate route. Even some slowdowns we're seeing there this morning. On Durham, on I-885 in both directions, we're seeing a little bit of slowdown going on there as well. Let's show you some delay times when it comes to I-40 this morning. Really, the troubled spot is that south side of the Beltline, getting over to US 1. Right now, we're running a 7-minute delay.
Thanks, Ken. 2 people are hurt after an early morning house fire on Hickory Glen Lane in Durham. Officials say the fire broke out in the kitchen around 1 o'clock this morning. One person was taken to the hospital for severe burns. A second person is also being treated for smoke inhalation. No word on the cause of the fire. Next on Fox 50, why mechanics are expecting an increase in repairs and tune-ups due to the extreme heat. And next on Today, rising country star Orville Peck's inspiring story and his message to his fans in honor of Pride Month.
Today is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a heat advisory that will, of course, we're going to feel like 103 to 106 this afternoon. I'll walk you through what it will feel like hour by hour.
Plus, 2 people are injured this morning after a fire started in their kitchen. What we know about their injuries and the firefighters' efforts to save one person who was trapped.
Dangerous heat can not only have an impact on you, but your vehicles as well, causing some major problems. Just ahead, we hear from mechanics about what they're dealing with as summer travel kicks up.
Yeah, a lot of different industries experiencing that. You know, people who fix ACs now with cars. We'll be getting to that in just a bit here on WRAL News and Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. It is a WRAL weather alert day. We've been talking about the heat that we're expecting.
Yes.
It is here. It's going to get into the hundreds today, Elizabeth. You need the water if you're heading out on the golf course.
Definitely, and do it fast. This is a live look at Southern Pines right now. There are a few people out there getting ready. Let me move out of the way, and you can see over here on the greens, getting ready to do a little practice there. Some cloud cover here in Southern Pines. We'll see those clouds breaking up over the next 2 hours, and that means full sunshine for us by lunchtime, if not before. A lot of folks are already seeing lots of sun. It's 82 in the Triangle, and our dew point is 74. That's a lot higher than it was this time yesterday, and that's going to make it feel hotter to your body, making it more dangerous to be outside for an extended period of time. Right now it's 78 in Fayetteville, 81 in South Hill, 76 in Goldsboro, and 79 in Southern Pines, but it will feel like 100 by 11 a.m. a.m. So anything you need to get done outside, you want to get it done now before we see all of this more dangerous heat. It'll feel like 103 to 104 in the Triangle this afternoon, and in some of our southern counties, 105 to 106, especially down around the Fayetteville area. Heat impacts are cumulative. So if you work outside, maybe you've been fine the last several days, but any day that you continue to see that heat, you're at higher risk for heat-related injuries. So just be careful out there. 100, our forecast high for this afternoon. 102 is the record, so we're close to records. No rain today, or at least a very small chance of it. Tomorrow, it goes up to 50% with the front coming through, and some of our counties are in a level 1 risk. I'll show you what to expect coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, look forward to that. And we've been looking at this situation in Johnston County all morning long. It's been breaking news here in the WRAL Traffic Center. Cleveland Road remains shut down in both directions at this hour. It's near Highway 42. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Nick, you've been there all morning long gathering new information. Walk us through what's happening now.
Well, Ken, this all started at around 1 this morning, and I'm going to get behind the camera just so you can see. We actually see now AT&T is here to try to help fix these power lines. This happened, like I said, at around 1 after this red dump truck you're seeing had the deck of its truck up, and that's when it ended up hitting into these power lines. You can see somebody with AT&T there trying to fix this. As of now, the road here is still closed. Johnson County Sheriff's Office has this blocked off. This is again on Cleveland Road, but there is a detour on Technology Drive. And Ken, how is that detour looking this morning?
Nick, back here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we've been watching that detour. It's actually on Technology Drive. That's Technology Drive right there. And you see nothing but green showing up, which is a good thing this morning. But if Cleveland Road is part of your morning commute, Technology Drive will get you over to I-40. We're following a couple of incidents this morning. This one in particular, we've been monitoring now for the last half hour. This is on Pullen Road near Hillsborough Street. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but just in case you navigate that particular intersection of Pullen and Hillsborough, you might see some police activity, so just be careful going through that area. Elsewhere around the community, we're seeing the traffic building around the Beltline, and this is what it really looks like outside. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You see the westbound lanes moving away from us. A lot of congestion this morning. Of course, if you're listening to us on the radio, we always keep you informed. You can do so by listening to us on 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
All right, thank you, Ken. When we have triple-digit heat like we're seeing today on this WRAL Weather Alert Day, you'll want to make sure that your car is safe. As WRAL's Laura Levine explains, as millions of people are getting ready for road trips, mechanics are preparing for an increase in performing tune-ups and repairs.
Mechanics here at Mission Valley tell us they stay busy year-round, but when the temperatures rise, so does the number of their customers. We have this temp gun here to show you just how hot our car is currently. You can see at 96 degrees, but it's all of this trapped heat under the hood that could really kill your battery. What you working on right now?
Chrysler Town and Country minivan. Changing out the battery.
A mechanic here at Mission Valley tell us extreme heat makes every part of your car work harder.
Just the water and, the cells in the battery, the heat puts stress on them.
The heat can affect the chemical process inside the battery, making it difficult for it to hold a charge and produce power. A weak battery could leave you stranded on a hot day, and the high temps could also flatten your tires.
Just go to wherever you get your car serviced and tell them you want a trip check, check all your fluids, check your coolant, oil, check your tires, tire pressure.
With holiday travel coming up, AAA agrees this is a must. The auto group expects to rescue nearly 800,000 stranded drivers during the 9-day holiday period because of heat-related car issues.
Triple-digit heat, that's bad enough already. And then add to the fact that we're talking about even holiday travel. If you get stuck on the road during holiday travel, you're going to have more and more vehicles on the road. It's going to take, it's going to take rescuers longer to get to you.
Keeping a well-stocked emergency kit in your car with plenty of drinking water is key, but you can avoid this problem altogether by getting your car checked sooner than later. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
And breaking news this morning, firefighters rescued a person from a burning home in Durham. They were called to the home on Hickory Glen Lane near NC 98 around 1 o'clock this morning. As WRAL's Kelsey Coffey shares, one person who was hurt has severe burns.
This fire station here behind me is about a mile away from where that fire started. 3 people were inside the house at the time, and firefighters had to pull one of those people out of the house as it was burning. Check out this video now from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see firefighters there on the scene. Flames broke out around 1 o'clock this morning at this home on Hickory Glen Lane. 2 people were sent to the hospital, one with severe burns. There's damage in the kitchen and throughout the rest of the home, but crews were able to control that fire within about 7 minutes. The cause of this fire is still under investigation, so we'll be sure to keep you updated on what comes out of this. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
Deputies in Sampson County are working to learn who's responsible for shooting a man. That shooting happened on Mount Elam Church Road near NC 421. This was around midnight. Investigators haven't given details regarding what led up to the shooting or how severe that man's injuries are, but WRAL is working to get an update for that information and if there are any suspects in this case.
Child care providers and parents plan to gather outside of the General Assembly as time is running out for funding. They'll hold a rally at 11 o'clock this morning outside of the Legislative Building. COVID-era funding runs out at the end of the month. A survey shows nearly 1 in 3 providers may close without this funding. Providers say lawmakers need to address this as they're making budget adjustments.
An Orange County man who bonded out of jail is due in court today. That's because he was arrested again. The sheriff's office says new evidence connected him to a series of break-ins over the weekend. Look at your screen right here. This is 49-year-old James Pickens Jr. He was arrested Saturday, and he's facing several felony charges, including breaking and entering and larceny. They happened near River Run Lane, according to investigators. Pickens made bond on those charges and left the jail Monday, but he was arrested again last night. Police say evidence connected him to a shopping center fire on Coleman Loop Road, and he is being held without bond until his court time this afternoon.
Today, state election officials will decide if there will be more names other than Joe Biden and Donald Trump on your presidential ballot. The presidential campaigns for third-party candidates Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Cornel West have petitioned to get on the ballot here in North Carolina. State officials need to verify that they have enough signatures from voters around the state showing their support. The State Board of Elections meets at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will square off in the first presidential debate of this election cycle. It's hosted by CNN. It's happening tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. You can watch it on WRAL.
There's a new push from the Wake County school system to donate meals to students in the district. It's called an Angel Fund. This would basically cover a meal for a child who doesn't have enough money to buy one. Individual schools have these programs, but a quarter of them do not have the money to support this. Currently, if a child doesn't have enough money to pay for lunch, they can only get fresh fruits and vegetables. Board members want children to be able to get a full meal, and especially some protein too.
Coming up, a 19-year-old is sharing her story about the moments a shark bit her while swimming, how she says she was able to fight off that shark.
Plus, the European Space Agency is experimenting with material from space. The new structures that they're working to build on the moon that look pretty familiar. All right, Wake Forest, good morning. As we are taking a look outside on this beautiful day, it's 8:43 right now. Though it is a beautiful day, it is a hot day. So much, in fact, that we have a WRAL Severe Weather Day listed for it. Elizabeth Gardner is going to walk you through why.
We have a heat advisory. It begins at 11 a.m. And at 11 a.m., it may already feel like 100 degrees through the afternoon, feeling like 103 to 106 around the triangle, easily 103, 104, maybe 105, 106 down in our southern counties. Take a look here, hour by hour, hitting 100 potentially with the heat index by 11 a.m. And then on through the afternoon, well into the triple digits, 103, 104 through the afternoon. The advisory ends at 8, but I mean, even at 7 o'clock, it could still feel like triple digits. So just be careful out there. We take a live look at Apex right now. Lots of sunshine there for a while. Right around sunset, we had a deck of low clouds develop. Mostly, we're seeing that breaking up right now. If you're still seeing them where you are, give it another hour to 2 hours the most, and we'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Kind of nice to have some cloud cover on a day like today to keep those temperatures down, but unfortunately we won't get quite that lucky. 82 with a southwest wind at 10. A southwest wind is dragging up some really moist air from the tropics, and that's what's keeping it feeling so hot this afternoon and bringing us that heat advisory. Take a look at our weather watchers. Candace Blake from Durham taking good care of her hydrangea there. It's a struggle right now. It's so hot, and we've been dry for so long. If you have plants that you really care about in your yard, you definitely definitely need to be watering those. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and we'd love to see what's happening in your backyard. It's going to be hot in your backyard. 100 in the Triangle this afternoon, 101 in Fayetteville and Southern Pines, 99 for Roxborough, South Hill, Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, and Clinton. So no matter where you go, it's going to be hot and very tropical feeling. 74 is our dew point right now. That is high, and it stays in the tropical zone all the way through the weekend. So we'll be watching for other potential heat advisory days. We're watching Thursday. Now, the thing about Thursday, whether or not we would really get to 105 could depend on where we end up seeing some rain. We have best chance of rain in the next 5 days for Thursday there, so 94. But getting into the weekend, potentially 105, 106, that could put us in that heat advisory category. And then this evening, as you're walking the dogs, just be careful, and yourself too. It's much cooler to walk in the grass. Concrete can feel like up to 120 degrees, and the asphalt up to 145. So watch your pet's paws, watch yourself, just be careful in this heat. And even though our temperatures go down Thursday and Friday, the heat index will still be on the high side in the triple digits. We do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday. It'll be nice to see a little rain, but it doesn't look like an all-day soaker by any means, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we continue to monitor that breaking news out of Johnston County this morning. Cleveland Road remains shut down in both directions at Highway 42. You can see the purple showing up there on our maps. Right now, Technology Drive is your alternate route that will get you over to I-40. Back here in Wake County and around the Triangle and surrounding communities, we're seeing the traffic building as usual this time of morning in the north side of the Beltline as well as the south side of the Beltline. Let's look at those I-40 delay times right now. And right now we're seeing a 6-minute delay for those drivers trying to get from I-440 over to US 1.
The summer is in full swing, and there are a lot of opportunities to get out and about with your kids. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan has a rundown of free or inexpensive things that you can do with your children this summer. Kathy, free? Come on, we love it.
We love free stuff. Okay, depending on if your child's in traditional or year-round school, your summer break can be quite long. We have some great ideas on WRAL's family section right now from contributor Jennifer Zellick. She shared some of the activities she's going to be doing with her children this summer. Okay, first up, museums. Many museums are free to visit, so they're perfect and also air-conditioned. Hello, it's hot. The North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences is a great option. They've got that dueling dinosaurs exhibit, great for families. So many great things there.
I love it. And with temperatures, Kathy, heating up, we know it's going to be really hot today. What are some ways that families can cool down?
Okay, they got splash pads in the area, and many of them are free. Okay, in Wake Forest, the Taylor Street Spray Ground is a great option. Over in Cary, they've got the Jack Smith Playground, another great one. There's also a splash pad in Fuquay Arena, and in downtown Raleigh, Moore Square has a splash pad that's open.
Very cool. And while public pools, I should say, are not free, they do offer multi-day and annual passes. Tell us about that.
This is a great option if you want to go throughout the summer. So Raleigh Parks and Recreation, they offer monthly passes to its pools ranging from $18 to $36, depending if you're a resident and your age. You can also pay just by the day. Day passes for the public pools in Raleigh range from $2 to $6 for residents. Wake Forest Holding Park Aquatic Center, one of my favorites. We go to that a few times, usually every summer. Admission $1 to $4 for residents.
Wow, really affordable. I love that. All right, and what about some indoor options for families?
Okay, indoors, incredibly important, like we talked about museums. We also have a great list of discounted movies, okay? AMC movie theaters, they've got summer movies for $3 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Regal Cinemas, $2 summer movies. Cinemark in Raleigh, they're hosting the $1.75 movies on Wednesdays. Marquee Cinema in Raleigh, they've got free family movies Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. It's another great option if you don't want to do a movie. You got the public libraries. They've got story time. And those are always free, and those are a few times a week. So great options.
A lot of great options there. I think the movie theaters are going to be really busy today. Kathy, thank you. And to see a full list of ideas, go to WRAL.com and search the keyword family.
A woman is sharing her story of survival after a shark attacked her in the Gulf of Mexico. A bull shark attacked 19-year-old Damania Humphrey while she was in the water near Galveston, Texas. She says that she started punching the shark as it tried to attack her. And the shark then swam around and finally attacked.
It came after me again, and that's when we believe it actually clamped onto the top of my hand, and that's when I started punching it again, and then it swam away for good. I didn't even feel pain. I just looked down and there was a shark on my hand.
Boy, and that adrenaline must have been going. Humphrey says the shark swam away after biting her. She's undergone surgery to repair 4 severed tendons, but she still can't feel or move her left wrist or her hand, Michelle.
Ooh, goodness. Well, Snapchat is rolling out new safety features to protect teen users. The social media company announced an update that includes an expansion of its pop-up warning. Teens will now receive a warning if a message is sent to them by someone who has been blocked or reported by other users. The company is also working to make it harder for strangers to find and add teens. Users will also be able to customize which friends see their locations. 5 on Your Side has an important recall to tell you about. 21 million toy sets are being recalled because they contain banned levels of chemicals. 38 versions of MGA's Miniverse Make It Mini kits are part of the recall from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The liquid resin in the kits, it contains acrylates that are actually banned by the Federal Hazardous Substances Act. There have been 26 reports of skin burns or respiratory irritation caused by the liquid resins in these toys. They were sold at Target, Walmart, and other major retailers across North Carolina. If your kids have these toys, take them away and contact MGA for a full refund.
The European Space Agency is experimenting with space material. They want to create structures on the moon with this. The ESA says scientists have already found a way to use meteorite dust to 3D print bricks to build small-scale astronaut shelters for the moon. Look kind of familiar? Look like Legos, right? Space lovers headed on summer vacations can see these in person. The space bricks will be on display through September at select Lego store locations.
Some classic family night games are getting a makeover. Mattel says it'll make 80% of its games colorblind accessible by the end of the year. Players can expect non-color-based indicators in games like Uno, Phase 10, or Tumblin' Monkeys. The company says it hopes 90% of games will be colorblind accessible by the end of 2025, including the mobile versions.
So a lot of people appreciate that. A Virginia couple is traveling across the country in an attempt to stop at every single Texas Roadhouse restaurant. Judy and Mike McNamara have been retired since about 2017, and they have visited 228 locations. They plan to visit 500 by the end of next year. That's a lot of bloomin' onion. Mike spends hours planning their vacations, ensuring that there is always a Texas Roadhouse on the way.
You always see one whenever you're on the road. Well, as summer movie season heats up, some upcoming movies are sharing first looks. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Who's with Red?
Reach!
Someone took Nick. We're gonna find him.
I'm bringing in Jack O'Malley. He's probably the best tracker in the world.
When Santa Claus is kidnapped, his security chief brings in a tracker who just happens to be on Nick's naughty list in Red 1. Dwayne Johnson is the muscle, J.K. Simmons is the jolly old elf, and Chris Evans is definitely not Captain America. The first trailer for the action flick just dropped. Red 1 arrives in theaters November 15th.
Should we all go upstairs to the bedroom?
I think it's best we don't go up to the bedroom tonight.
With Kinds of Kindness now in theaters, its core trio is looking to their next film together. Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are reuniting with director Yorgos Lanthimos for Begonia, about 2 conspiracy-minded men who kidnap a CEO, believing she's an alien who wants to destroy Earth. Begonia is due in theaters November 7th, 2025. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Kansas City Chiefs are partnering with the Hallmark Channel. The team and the channel are working together to create a movie that has a theme regarding the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be called Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story, and part of it will be filmed at the team's stadium. And before we go to break, just in case you forgot them, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers for Tuesday, June 25th.